Thank you for joining me here for part 3 of how to build wealth without all the risk. Now we're going to be picking up from where we left off on our last video, talking about becoming our own banker, utilizing this system, this cash-rich life insurance policy to build wealth. Okay, so if you remember from the last video, we were talking about the insurance policy, the cash value of that insurance policy being our savings account. We're saving up money in there. We're putting premium payments into there. And all along the way, we're able to borrow against that insurance policy. Now, today in this video, we're going to take that same example of borrowing against your insurance policy and now show you some numbers behind it. Okay. Now, again, this is our third video of this 3-part series. If we don't have our next appointment set up yet, please send me an email, give me a call, or jump onto this hyperlink here, and let's set up that next appointment. All right. Okay, coming here to my screen. Here we go. As a reminder, we've got this insurance policy. Okay. Inside that policy, we are growing cash value. Again, with this insurance policy, death benefit is important. I don't want to walk around that. It is important to have death benefit, but really what we're trying to do here is the premium payment coming into this policy. We want as much of that premium payment as we can to funnel into the cash value instead of the death benefit, because that's where we're going to get all of this growth. Okay. Now, again, we talked about those living benefits of the insurance policy. Okay. Now, this is important because this is going to tie into our example of running a policy loan today. Okay, as we talked, there is a guaranteed growth on the insurance policy contractually of 4% per year on that cash value. And on top of that growth, there is the possibility of a dividend. Now that dividend rate is usually somewhere between 0 to 3%. Okay, so you're getting this growth on the policy, and again, if we structure it correctly, all of that growth can be tax-free. Okay, so that's what we're working with here. Let me come to a clean page, and let's talk about running a policy loan. I'm going to go back to the same example we talked about last time. We're talking about a car loan. We're talking about using the cash value in our insurance policy to go and purchase that vehicle. Let's see if I can write and talk at the same time. Here we go. Okay, so policy. Inside this policy, that cash value, let's say you've built up that cash value to $10,000. Okay, so you've got $10,000 growing inside that cash value of the policy. Now, as a reminder, that cash value is growing at 4% per year plus a dividend. So let's say for our example today, let's say you're getting a 5% growth inside of that cash value. Okay? Now, when you go to take a loan against your policy, very simple process. You're calling up the insurance company and saying, hey, insurance company, I have cash value in my policy and I want to borrow against it. And the insurance company says, great. Where do we send the money? And they wire out to you or send you a check, however you prefer. They send that money out to you. Okay? Let's say we're going to be utilizing the full $10,000. Now, we started to talk about this in part 2 of the video, but one thing to remember that's important with these policies is when you borrow against your insurance policy, the money doesn't come from your cash value. It comes from the reserve account at the insurance company. They're allowing you to utilize their cash, and then they're going to hold your policy as collateral. Okay, so in other words, if you take a $10,000 loan, you've got that $10,000 that you're utilizing that the insurance company sent out to you, but let's say you pass away earlier than expected. Okay, the insurance company will be able to get their money back because what they'll do is they'll take your death benefit pay off whatever that policy loan is, and then whatever's left over in that death benefit, that gets sent out to your beneficiaries or to your family. Okay? So it's a very low risk type of a loan for the insurance company and for you in all reality. Okay? But because you're borrowing money from the insurance company, they're going to charge you an interest rate back on that policy loan. They're going to say, well, because we weren't able to take that money, that $10,000, and go out and invest it ourselves, we're going to charge you interest back on it. Okay? It's an opportunity cost to them. So they're going to charge you back on that. And typically that interest rate ends up being, somewhere between 4 to 6%. Okay? For our example today, what we're going to do is we're going to say that amount is 5%. Okay? We're going to hold both of these sides basically equal to each other. 5% here, 5% here. Now let's calculate this cost. Okay? Let's first of all go over here to the insurance company. Okay? We take that $10,000 loan. We're going to go purchase that vehicle. Okay? We buy that vehicle, and now we set up a system to pay that policy loan off. Now, with an insurance policy loan, you are in charge of the terms of the payoff of that loan. You pay it off whenever you want and however you want. Okay? For purposes of our conversation today, what we're going to do is we're going to just say, we're going to treat this like it were a normal car loan. Okay? If you were to go out and get a normal car loan, it's usually a 5-year payback on that loan. Again, it's up to you how quickly, how slowly you want to pay this off, whenever you want to pay it off, etc. Okay? So I'm going to pull up a calculator here. Now, this calculator that we're going to look at is a basic loan amortization calculator. Let me make this bigger so you're able to see the numbers on it. Okay. In fact, I'm going to move my camera out of the way for this portion. Oh, now that's way too big. Okay, here we go. I will stop playing around here. All right. Okay, we're going to call this... Sorry, my screen's jumping around here. There we go. Okay, loan balance. We've got $10,000. Okay, your loan rate, again, we're saying is 5%. And then in my calculator here, I'm able to say, what is the payback on that? Again, we're going to say the payback is over a 5-year period or over 60 months. Okay, so if we were to start paying off this loan over that time period, there we go. We now have that loan. The monthly charge on that loan is going to be $188 per month. Okay? If I were to stretch that out over a 60-month period, and I apologize that these numbers are so small. Let me just talk this through for you. Okay? If we were to pay this off over a 5-year period or over 60 months, it's going to end up being $188 per month that you're paying off. Now, really what I'm worried about right now is this column right here that's called interest charged. I want to see how much did this policy loan cost us. Well, over this 5-year period, the total interest charged, the cumulative amount down here at the bottom is $1,323. Okay, so let me actually just write that in the screen here and make it easier for us. So the interest charged is $1,323 interest that we have to pay back to the insurance company. Okay? So now we've paid back that interest to the insurance company to the tune of $1,323, and the policy loan is also paid off. This was over a 5-year period. Well, your policy, again, that cash value didn't decrease. It just continues to grow. So now we want to say, okay, well, you had $10,000 sitting inside of your insurance policy growing that whole time. So if we had $10,000 at an annual interest rate of 5% per year, again, 4% guaranteed growth plus our dividend, so we're saying 5%. Over that same 5-year period, we're saying that your $10,000 inside of the insurance policy, that cash value just grew from $10,000 to $12,763. So if we said, what is our earnings off of that? Well, $12,763 minus the $10,000 original amount, your policy just grew by $2,763. Okay? $2,763 was your earnings. So how did we fare with this policy loan? Well, we earned $2,763, and if we minus out how much that interest was, that $1,323, we'll see that our net profitability off of this policy loan was $1,440. Okay. And we're saying here, because we decided to purchase this vehicle using this policy loan, using this banking on our own self type of a setup, instead of just paying for that car with hard cash, we're actually $1,400 ahead financially than where we would have been. Okay, so pretty amazing setup there. Now again, 5% on both sides, 5% interest that we paid, 5% growth, it appears to be a wash. And it is. On a day-to-day basis, it would be a wash. But when we start to involve the time value of money into this, that's where we start to see the benefit, okay? So if we look over here at the policy loan, we have this $10,000 that we're paying down over that 5-year period at 5%, okay? So that's a simple interest rate. Whereas over here in the insurance policy, we're starting with $10,000, and then over time, every year, we're growing it at that 5%, or we're working with compounding interest, okay? So when we start to involve the time value of money into this, over this sequential payback, we actually see that we're net profitable off of all of this, okay? Now, again, this is just one small example, and there's obviously a lot more detail that goes into all of it. But I wanted to start to take you through the numbers so when we do meet next time and we start to develop a plan around you, we can start to see how are these numbers going to work out. Also, what kind of purchases do you have coming up in the future? What kind of investments do you have coming up in the future? How does that all fit into this? So we'll start to take a look at this plan built around you when we meet next time. All right, so as a reminder, if you've got the appointment set up, great. My assistant will email you or call you to confirm that appointment. If not, then make sure you give me a call, send me an email, or visit me on the website. Okay? So thanks again. I appreciate you joining in for this 3-part webinar called How to Build Wealth Without Risk. I hope this was helpful for you, and I look forward to meeting with you again. Thanks.